Furious Driving, proud to be supported by Diamond Bright, protecting, cleaning and caring for the Furious fleet and for yours, with 10% off using code FD10. Follow the links in the description below. Hello and welcome to Furious Driving, and we're driving very not furiously right now because we're in a borrowed car, and I'm with my old friend Jace, who has been in desperate need of new wheels this week after his, can I call it dreadful? I'm going to call it dreadful. Jason's dreadful Citroen finally expired with a failed MOT that was going to cost way more than it's worth to fix. And I know in YouTube land I should automatically buy it and then start to fix it, but the fact is it's already been condemned by experts with electrical faults that are just way too irritating, and a bunch of other things. Maybe I'll give you a walk around it at some point before it goes off for scrap. But anyway, Jason asked me, as the car buddy, to give him some sensible car buying advice. And so we looked at what was out there for not much money in a hurry, and we found a couple of good contenders. Gave strong thought to an XJ40 Daimler, which would have been very nice indeed, but as it's a commuter car, we thought maybe thirst and unreliability of both driver and car might get too much for everybody. So we nixed that one. Did find a very nice Rover 420 diesel, and you've had one of them before, haven't you?
Yes, they're very cool.
Very nice car, very comfortable, bizarrely incredibly reliable as well. So, well, yeah, those things do go on forever, and it's basically a Honda with nice seats. So, yeah, that would have been good. Unfortunately, the seller had already shipped it off to an auction by the time we phoned, so missed out on that one. Looked at a very nice looking R50 Mini, which would be a good thing. However, R50 Mini, the kilo isn't that last word.
Yes, I'm not very mini.
Not very mini, no. So, although that was only 600 quid, that would have been a great car. We did nix that one as well. So, now as I say, sensible buying advice time. Jason wanted sensible buying advice for a useful car to commute, to keep working, to be affordable and sensible. So yeah, let's go and see what we've got on board. Well, we've just driven a little way away from the guy's house we just bought this car from, and Jason handed over 1,000 of his hard-earned pounds for this. Can you believe it? The ultimate sensible everyday transport. An L322 Range Rover for £1,000. I mean, this is luxury motoring on a proper budget, and it runs really, really well. Admittedly, I'll run you through the good stuff and the bad stuff in a second. But first of all, well, it's an L322 Range Rover, which means it's the good Range Rover. It's got the 6-cylinder BMW diesel in it, which is a really good engine. It's huge, I mean, it is properly huge, and it runs like an absolute train. It is fabulous. Now this bit is something you're either going to go ooh, or you're going to go woo when you see it. The mileage on this thing, the mileage is 244,865 miles, and it's still just purring away. Let me turn the engine on for you. That is lovely. That is really nice. It's got an MOT till well into next year as well. So we really are cooking with gravy here. It's flashing up the air suspension is inactive, but I did a quick Google search on this before Jason parted with any money. And that's fine for an MOT, as long as the suspension is functioning correctly, which it appears to be, then it's fine. Now, admittedly, 250,000 miles, it has got a little bit of wear and tear to it. Shush. Yeah, shush, thank you. So we've got a little bit of wear on the doors. The steering wheel, surprisingly good. And, well, just basically just light trim wear, really. The fact that someone's been sat in this car halfway to the moon. But these leather seats still look really good. The leather steering wheel still looks really good. The wood stuff looks really good. There have been some questionable choices made at some point in the car's life. It has been gangster blinged, which we might want to be taken off, I think, before the local constabulary see. And that mirror, it's gone a bit funny. And someone has been a bit adventurous with the stick-on chrome stuff. Fortunately, the stick-on chrome stuff will peel off really quite easily, I think. Maybe in the kettle or a hot air gun or something to soften that. But we can lose all of this stuff, all this stuff, all this stuff, all these little covery things, this stuff, around this side as well. It's not even stuck on very well. This stuff, and of course this stuff. Oh, that car will look so much better with that terrible bling. Oh, this stuff is all off the gills, and we can repaint the wheels because black wheels always look a little bit smaller. That is just a ton of car for £1,000. I mean, if you've been watching Clarkson's farm, you'll see how much he loves his one and gives it endless abuse. Admittedly, his is probably a bit lower mileage than that and was pretty good spec. This one though, well, it's had a few little knocks and bumps, but again, 250,000 miles, so it's to be expected. Little greys on the rear door, and someone's put some performance brakes on it as well. I didn't notice that before, performance brake discs. It does seem to stop quite nicely. It's got decent tyres on as well. Question is, Jason, are you happy?
Well, I think that this is a daily driver for someone who keeps confusing their opinion with fact.
He thinks he's Jeremy Clarkson now. It's going to be unbearable. Let's have a look at the engine. So here we have the 2.9 litre turbo. I think this is an M57 straight 6, but it's, what, about 30 mpg, do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, which for a big old beast like this is not bad, and compared to your old... Jason's old car was a C4 Picasso 2 litre non-turbo.
1.6.
Sorry, 1.6 non-turbo. It is the slowest vehicle I've ever driven. It is actually painfully slow to drive. It has been, well, it's rusty underneath. It's got airbag lights on, and it's got ABS lights on.
Yes.
And someone at a fast fit place changed the headlight bulbs a while ago.
And managed to rip out the bulb lugs.
Yeah, so you've got no actual mountings for the bulbs. So a little while ago I had to make out of old rubber tube. Handbrake it, mate.
This won't do that.
No, it might do. So I had to go and use some old radiator hose to make bulb mountings to fit it into the Citroen. This is probably going to get about the same kind of economy because you don't have to rag it everywhere, it'll just cruise. And of course, it'll go everywhere and do everything. Okay, this plastic stuff here, this is actually a full grille. Okay, this is the bling grille from Land Rover. This is factory standard bling. Nothing seems to be falling out of it. I'm not going to open the radiator because we've driven it a wee way. Obviously, being a Range Rover or a Land Rover product, I might actually need to do a little bit of help with Jason over the next couple of months. What else have we got in here? We've got the biggest boot you've ever seen. I think this car's been working for a living. Look at the state of the back of this thing. And I've got to say, Jace gave £1,000 for this car. That number plate, that has got to be worth half of that on its own. What do you reckon, Jay? Get that onto a plate trader and get rid of it?
Yeah. If nothing else, to help rectify anything wrong with.
Well, yeah, it's a car that fixes itself. This boot is enormous. You can live in here.
Full size.
Yeah, full size spare wheel. Jeez, the size of that jack. That's amazing.
I think we can well do without the chrome around the windows and the gills.
100%. Man. If anything on a car says to a local passing police officer, please tug me, that is what says, please come and have a gentle word.
Yeah.
He's about to get told off. Right, let's take this thing for a little blast around the car park. Some lads who are just enjoying the car a second ago are now being told off, so we're going to blast very carefully away from here. Oh, this thing is creamy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's get Jason in shot. Are you in shot, Jace?
Ah, yes, fiend of the channel.
Yes, fiend of the channel. We're friends of the channel and fiend of the channel. Jason is the latter. See, when you come to me for car buying advice, you get two kinds of car buying advice. You either get very sensible, you need to buy a Micra, which did actually suggest a Micra at one point, I have to say.
Yeah.
He wasn't enamoured. Or I'll suggest the most reliable, cost-effective, cheap-to-run car I can possibly find. Or I will live my dreams vicariously through you.
So which one was this, Matt?
I plead the fifth. Oh, this is just creamy, isn't it? Oh, the ABS light's on now. Okay, and there's an alert light. Okay, we'll get the scanner on that and have a look at that later on. I mean, it's a 250,000 mile Range Rover for £1,000. But, you know, you really can't argue with that, can you?
Certainly not. Careful with that, Caleb.
Yeah, I've become the co-star. How'd it happen? On my own channel. This thing is great. It is so smooth. Oh, there's another note. I've noticed more lights since we've driven it. I'm noticing more lights coming on the dashboard than I'd been previously aware of. There's a little triangle with a circle around it, and the brakes warning light and the ABS light. So we'll get this thing checked out, but it's driving absolutely fine. It doesn't feel like there's a problem.
It's brilliant, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen the state of the Dis.
Yeah, it's a proper race car basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's boot it. Oh yeah. It feels big, doesn't it?
Yes, because it is big.
That would be the reason. That would be the reason for it being big, because it is literally big. Do you know what? I've never particularly wanted, well, yeah, I say I've never wanted a Range Rover. I've often wanted a Range Rover. I kind of want a Range Rover a bit more now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's be honest. Only a Range Rover, if you're a car guy, it's a bit like having the chance to.
Yeah, that's not going in the video.
It may be. It's almost certainly a mistake. It may even be a mistake with long-term ramifications.
It may cost you 34 guilty counts if you try and pay it off afterwards.
Exactly.
Be careful what you say to the traffic officer.
But at the end of the day, it'd be wrong not to.
Yes. Well, slight clonk there, but you know. It's £1,000 though. It's a £1,000 Range Rover, and we can fix stuff as we go along, as we find things that are needing to be fixed. Oh, this is so good.
Fortunately, I know a good car guy.
Well, that's lucky. We're going to be needing to. Does the AC work? Have we tried it yet? Oh, it blows a lot. I think changing that mirror glass is the first thing to do, because that's weird.
Weird mirror glass.
Yeah. We can make this car much nicer. I like this. I like this a lot. I want a Range Rover now. Jason, you've made me want a Range Rover more than I sensibly should. We can both be Clarkson, but then who's going to be Caleb?
I don't know. Well, we know someone who's sensible and has sort of like blonde to red hair, don't we? So.
Yes. There's a little bit of a clonk on that front suspension. Might need to get that looked at before the next MOT. Might be a track rod end or something.
Track rod end, right?
But we'll check it out. Okay, so we know we've got stuff to do. The thing about a car like this though, is that even if it is an absolute disaster and it's, well, going to un-MOTable at the next one, so that fan really has come on powerful, it doesn't really matter because you can still flog it for pretty much what you paid for it to the off-road boys who don't care about the MOT.
True.
I've gone to the wrong level of this car park.
Yes, you have. Get it right, Caleb.
Hang on, no. Caleb doesn't get told what to do. Caleb knows what he's doing and is always telling Clarkson what to do. Oh, that sounds good, doesn't it?
Oh, doesn't it just? I mean, it sounds almost like it has one of the old Buick V8s in it.
Yeah, and that kind of... How the heck do we get upstairs?
Well, to guess, I'd say...
The next car park over has got a ramp in it.
Either that or we go down there and try that. But the sound on it.
Hey, whistling diesel. And you might find you absolutely love it and you're willing to spend whatever it takes to keep the thing on the road. I must admit, watching you driving down the road away from the seller's place, you did look very at home in it.
Yeah.
Although admittedly with the tinted windows you did look like very at home as a council estate drug dealer, but...
Look, we're going to de-bling it.
Yeah, I would definitely...
There we go.
There we go, there's the up here. Oh, it's still an upsy daisy.
Yeah, it's just there.
No, it's just no entry.
Oh, bloody hell.
Back to the roundabout we go.
You just love making this make that noise.
I do really, yes. I don't know if you can see behind us, there is a very nice little skyline. Oh, this is super fun. I think the Freelander might be getting traded in fairly soon.
and tell me you can fix the back brakes and I'll give you Hippo for that.
Yeah, exactly. It's more effective. It's just a little 2-litre diesel. It's BMW diesel again, nice and reliable. Much better for your everyday use, Jace.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm doing it for you. I was going to bring a Hippo tin mug and present it to you, so you're in the Land Rover family. I forgot to grab one on the way out.
Oh, I will be expecting that later.
I'll bring it around later on. This thing is awesome.
You just love making it make that noise, don't
I
you?
do really. I'm sorry, she's got half your tank of petrol, diesel. Oh, the angry security lady's still talking to the guys in the other car. We'll go and park somewhere not close to them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit of a clonk then.
Yeah, well, need to get it looked at.
Yeah,
But it's worth it.
definitely.
I think that's what the number plate could go on, don't you?
So we've got, pop out the clever little cup holder thing again. That's wicked. Retractable cup holder. We've got a second adjustable cup holder down here. We've got the terrain response stuff on here. So we can, well, in theory, raise and lower the suspension, but I don't think we'll be able to, obviously, because the air suspension isn't working. Aircon, I don't think was blowing cold, was it then?
Not entirely.
No. Yeah, that's a no then. Yeah, we've got very, very state-of-the-art early noughties radio there, although you could update that to something more modern. Have you tried radio?
No, actually.
Oh, is it going to assist we set the time and date on it before we do anything else?
Probably.
There we go. Ah, okay.
Oh, it might have a CD changer somewhere.
Yeah, I can hear something whistling. Might be in the glove box.
Okay.
No, maybe not.
No.
It's somewhere. I can hear the CD going, but I don't know where. We'll figure that one out.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's so cool. My terrible buying advice has put Jason in what is basically a really cool car. Are you happy, Jace?
I am.
Would you ever take my car buying advice again?
Oh, yes.
Don't do that. The answer is no. Wait for the first mechanic bill, then will you take my car buying advice?
Ask me then.
Yeah, we'll see how we go there. It is absolutely fabulous. Huge, huge back seats. I mean, if you want to live in this car, you basically could. If you lose your house, you've got a mobile option here. Obviously, driving to and from work is going to use a little bit of fuel. You can economise on that by sleeping in the car park at work in the back of this.
Good point.
It's bigger than the average terrace house.
And it also has...
A sunroof. Oh, yeah. Do we dare open that?
Someone has slightly, but probably only enough to... Yeah, I think we wait until we've got a real heat wave to try that, when we're going to have several, you know, hot days ahead of us.
So we've got time to figure out how to close it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because the thing with old sunroofs is that they can sometimes work, but they don't always. Often they'll work one way, and not the other. So you need to know where the mechanical or the manual override is for it before you start touching that button.
Oh, yes.
But no, this is... I've got a sunglasses holder. This thing is lovely. This is, okay, it's showing its age a little bit, but it runs so well. A little bit of basic maintenance, which, as we say, flogging the number plate will potentially cover quite a lot of. Yeah,
well, basically, we're going to flog the number plate, get the track rod done.
Well, it's that little clonk, it's probably a track rod end, could be something else, but I don't think it's anything major by the sound of it. I hope not, anyway. If it is, then we'll drive it till the MOT runs out, and then sell it to the off-road boys. But chances are, it's going to be fixable. This generation of Range Rover is basically fixable. The one after it, and the discoveries of that sort of slightly later era, everything is body off. Oil filter is body off, basically. This is actually quite easily
to... everything in the sort of mechanical list starts with first remove engine.
Yeah, and before you do that, remove body.
Yeah.
I'm not joking, you lift the body off the chassis on a lot of those jobs. Yeah. Watch LR Time, the German couple. Yeah, they've got a 4-post lift in their driveway because they've got 2 discoveries. Yeah, it's serious. So there we go. Right, I want to say goodbye at this point. Jason's going to go and think long and hard about his life choices, and I'm going to run away before he notices what I've made him do.
And on that bombshell, good night.
Some call him, some call him a lot of things. Like and subscribe.
What an incredibly handsome guy next to his Range Rover.
Exactly. I was just thinking you might want to get used to this particular scenario though. Not that I'm suggesting this is not an efficient car.